check that.
That's okay. That's, I want to know what your individual criteria are. And it may be very subjective. That's okay. What makes a chocolate premium?
Quality. Taste.
Okay.
I broke mine up by price.
Okay. Quality, taste,
Ingredients.
price, ingredients,
Packaging.
Percentage of cocoa.
percentage of cocoa.
Packaging.
Okay. Packaging. All right. I'm going to dig a little on some of these things. How do you know something's quality? What says quality?
Fewer artificial ingredients.
Okay. What else do people think of as quality?
The name. I think the name. Which you have the name.
The name, the reputation. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, like Hershey's Kisses are probably one of the least expensive chocolates, but it's probably the highest quality in my book.
Okay. So.
Nostalgia, I mean.
Okay.
I think also, just throwing one more thing out there,
Yeah.
I think how easy they are to find. Like,
Yeah.
I can find Hershey's Kisses anywhere I want, or Hershey's Bar. I don't
Dependable.
consider that to be, like, that's why I don't care. I will find that 3 times before I find this or this,
Yeah.
or any of those. So I think that's also what I kind of factor into it.
Okay.
Although I'm finding green and black, there are chocolate bars everywhere now.
And so I heard some agreement. Does how easy it is to find something tell you something about its quality or premiumness?
No.
Right, I'm getting heads, yes and no. So Julia, you what do you think?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It
Right, it
creates
gives you a
that
hint.
impression.
Okay.
But sometimes it's so legendary that it's, it's widespread, and
Mhm.
that's not a bad thing.
Okay. Can you think of an example?
In chocolate world?
Yeah.
Well, I guess those green and black
Okay.
that you said, that's a good example.
I remember when Godiva first came out, you
Mhm.
could only get it either at the store or Macy's.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed very premium and exclusive. Plus the pricing was
Right.
in a different range.
Does Godiva seem less premium now that it's easy to get?
Yes.
It's trying to hold on.
No, I think the quality hasn't changed, but it's gotten a lot of competition. And because its distribution has changed, maybe people feel that the quality has watered down because now it's much easier to get that. That could be said for some of the other brands here as well. But I don't think distribution or where it's being sold has anything to do with the brand's inherent quality.
Other people think of that, like, does where you find the chocolate, like finding it at the CVS as opposed to finding it at the Whole Foods, does that connote
One of the things
quality?
that I've tried a lot of stuff at the Whole Foods,
Mhm.
as far as the chocolates are concerned, and they're the premium, because they're
Yeah.
more expensive and whatnot, but they're never as, maybe I already tasted out into the artificial world or something, maybe or organic or something, but it's not always as good as what you're used to already.
I think I would always look still at the ingredients, because sometimes I am in the pharmacy and I'm looking for something of a higher quality, and I'm like, man, I wish they carried something better. So sometimes it's a good thing that you see it everywhere, as long as it keeps the quality on par
Mhm.
and doesn't dilute it over time.
Okay. What do other people think about, like, what you might get at Whole Foods or a specialty shop as opposed to what you might get at a supermarket? Does it say
Well,
quality to you? Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
I think there are some products in some brands that may be less premium than other products in the same brand. So Lindor or Ghirardelli may have certain chocolates that are more premium, and they may market them or merchandise them more selectively
I see.
or on a limited basis.
Okay.
Um,
Let me follow up on the idea of ingredients. Oh, I'm sorry, Barry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, let's just associate this with, there's a lot of pop-up breweries in Brooklyn, for
Right.
instance.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just
Public what?
pop-up breweries, like beer pubs. Like everybody's, there's a new beer out every,
Yeah, there's two by my house.
and like, even if the beer tastes worse than a Bud Light, right? I'm still going to think that it's a better quality than Bud Light, because Bud Light's everywhere. It's a stop and go, it's a 7. That's just me personally. If I hear a new band, and I really, really like their music, and then I find out that they're on this main label, and all of a sudden they're blowing up, their music may not sound as appealing to me anymore, because it's very mainstream product. Like, I like a sense of exotic
Okay.
with it, and I think that that's kind of associated in all forms of entertainment or food or anything like that. Like a rare black truffle, macaroni and cheese
Right.
may only be sold at one place, and it may taste awful, but I'm still going to want to taste it because it's something that's not sold at McDonald's.
And it's hidden and hasn't been discovered by the masses.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think that there is something along with that. Now, you mentioned something about the difference between buying something at CVS or a specialty shop. I think
Yeah.
at a specialty chocolate shop, they put a lot more care and intention, and it's not something that's being shipped across the country that's like either flash frozen, or maybe it's not, or
Right.
has a chance to melt and just kind of put on the shelves because everybody already knows what it is.
Okay.
If any of that makes sense.
Yeah. And I see some people nodding, so that's some people, agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think freshness is also something that I think about. Like when I see piles of stuff at the department store, I'm like, God knows how long this has been here.
Right. All
And
right.
how many times it's been dusted.
All right. Talk to me about ingredients. What kind of ingredients make something premium?
All natural
Okay.
and a more high quality cocoa.
How do you know if the cocoa is high quality?
It will tell you like when it's 90%,
Okay, so you mean the percentage?
if it hasn't been processed or.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the food trends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like now everything is about avocados or, you know,
Okay.
being very natural. So if I notice that food trends, like with this one here, it's like sesame and
Quinoa.
thank you.
Okay.
So, you know, it seems like, oh, this is very exclusive.
Okay.
You want chocolate?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Interesting.
And when it's
So-
Agave,
popcorn.
quinoa, so these
And also, there's no
sugar.
artificial colors in the
Interesting.
ingredients like red 5, yellow 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So naturalness, maybe a certain amount of trendiness. What other things about ingredients strike you as quality?
Just try to stay away from like the corn,
Okay.
the corn syrup stuff.
Yeah, no high fructose corn syrup, no additional extra sugar. I was before crazy about quality, and I was looking for chocolate that doesn't have any emulsifier or any lecithin.
Okay.
Just pure cocoa, and that's it. And I've slipped since then. But yeah, I used to really read that list a lot.
Talked a little bit about brand in terms of of quality. Are there brands that really stand out for you as quality?
Yeah, there are certain brands that have a sterling reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that whether I pick up 1 bar today or 2 bars 3 months from now, they're all going to have the same quality to them. I would love to say I specifically look, you know, at the ingredient label and whatnot. I don't, and whenever I hear whenever I hear people talking about how it has to be artisanal and it has to be this and, you know, small batch and stuff, I think about the news story that broke about 6 months ago about these 2 brothers who were in Brooklyn, and they claimed they were making artisanal small batch chocolate. And what they were doing was getting like Hershey's and melting it down.
Yeah.
So I'm very leery of everybody saying we're making small batch artisanal, because these guys were doing a multi-million-dollar business making artisanal chocolate in Bushwick, and they were melting down Hershey's. So I'm gonna go with a brand that I know has been around for a while.
Okay. That makes sense. Tell me a little bit about packaging. Packaging was mentioned. What about a package says quality or premium to you?
I think it changes a lot with times.
Okay.
Before it was supposed to be really classic, kind of like, you know, in the interiors it used to be mahogany, and now it's all white and gray.
Right.
So
Yeah.
before it had to be like really heavy, dark colors, kind of like flashy, gold and foils.
Mhm.
Like a
think-
Wonka bar.
Yeah.
I think now it's like turning more into cleaner design. Like when I look at this, again, I
Right.
think that this is more quality because it's just so minimalist, or, you know, this, which is like very artistic.
Right.
So it became very modern.
Recyclable packaging.
I think one of the most unique package designs I've seen for a chocolate bar, which surprisingly isn't out here, is the Toblerone bars.
Okay.
Which I'm a big fan of, because I think that was the first time that I think that's kind of what segued into trying a lot more different chocolates than the basic Butterfinger and things like that, was when I had one of those. And that was like 7 years ago or so.
Does uniqueness connote quality?
No.
Sometimes.
Sometimes yes,
Say it
no.
does.
Paul, tell me a little bit why you think yes.
Because they differentiate from every other brand out there.
Right.
There's something to it, I believe.
Well, it's plain more expensive to make such packaging.
I mean, I've seen things like bacon-covered chocolate, you know,
Mhm.
and that's unique. But does it have legs? Is it, you know, palatable? Is it?
Right.
And just because it's unique doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yeah, I tried the unique.
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard of chocolate-covered grasshoppers, but not, you don't see that on a lot of, you know,
Not that
hostess
Okay.
tables.
I think uniqueness just like makes you want to try it once. I don't think uniqueness is an everyday thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
yeah.
No.
So it might make it more interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean quality.
Right.
Okay. But sometimes it might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's unique, just say it's like 95% or 98%
And the thing is,
chocolate.
just,
That's what makes it unique from every other
Okay.
chocolate out there.
sorry. Just the connotation unique doesn't necessarily mean better.
Alright. What about where the chocolate comes from? Is Belgian chocolate better than American chocolate? More premium?
Depends upon the manufacturer, because there are American manufacturers of chocolate that are just as good as the Swiss and Belgian chocolatiers.
I think we moved to fair trade these days. Fair
Okay.
trade chocolate is all the hype,
Yep.
regardless where it's coming from.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there a country that you feel like exemplifies chocolate? Like, is Swiss chocolate more premium than Belgian chocolate? Is French chocolate more
Not
premium than
premium.
Swiss chocolate?
I think growing up, it might have been. Now,
Okay.
since it's a lot more chocolates available. Maybe
Okay.
like you're saying, the free trade, every chocolate is coming from everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Also, the varieties of chocolates have broadened over time
Mhm.
and have gone exotic with, mixing everything from jalapeno to sea salt to caramel. So now you have
Okay.
different palettes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's still, what's that, Valborna chocolate, that's French, and that's kind of still holds its location, like where it's coming from, it's very important, but they're only a handful.
Okay, so there might be a handful of ones that sort of retain that cachet, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like champagne coming over from
Mm.
France, even though there are a bunch of other sparkling wines.
Right. All right. We talked about packaging, and you said some things, sort of the design of it. What else about packaging might connote quality? Is there anything I missed? Okay.
Well, the thing now is to have like a very small carbon footprint.
Okay.
So if you come across a brand and, it's like that agave, quinoa, yada yada pure chocolate, which is made from recyclable packaging and this and that, if you think that they're going to extra emphasis having a small carbon footprint, they're a little bit more premium.
Does the shape of the thing, like the fact that this is small bites in a bag as opposed to a bar, affect quality? I mean, does something have to be like this to be quality?
No, no.
Anything else that I missed about what makes something premium for you?
No.
No? All right. Excellent. All right. So, before I move on, we've talked a little bit more about kind of the names of things. Do we have any revisions to what we might call something now that we've thought about it a little more?
No.
We're still good with, what are these?
Minis.
Minis? These?
Truffles.
This, right?
Handfuls.
Handful. All right, great. What about, are there kinds of chocolates, we talked a little bit like when we eat them, are there kinds of chocolates that we eat with different things? Like, is pairing important?
Not for me.
Well, it depends on a type of meal.
Okay. Most people
Well, I guess a
aren't-
bar of chocolate I would eat sometimes with, I don't know, wine or tea.
Okay.
Whereas, like, if anything that's like those unpackaged things, I guess you just kind of eat them by themselves when you're like snacking.
Okay.
So like certain things, I guess, do pair with some beverage and then some don't.
Okay.
Pieces are usually associated with holiday parties.
Okay. How do people feel about that? Like, are pieces more for snacking or parties as opposed to bars? Like, do we eat bars at a different, are bars different from pieces or minis in that way that we might?
Yeah.
I mean, bars you would just have for yourself. I mean, you're not gonna go to a party with a bar and say, hey, everybody break a piece. No.
Right, but you might have a bar at home and you might have a bag at home.
So if I have a bag at home, I'll take the bag out if I'm going out. If I have the bar, I'll just break a piece off every now and again.
So you would never just sit at home and eat?
No.
I would, but I ration them out.
Okay. What
I
about
would
you?
eat at home.
That would be
Yeah,
going in one
it's at home.
sitting.
I would bring the
Even
bar
at
to a
home.
small party.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Not a party, but like gathering of friends, you know.
So for those of you who would eat something like this at home, how do you know when you're going to eat this and when you're going to eat a bar?
That's good with like a glass of milk, or you take 2 or 3 of those.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, make yourself a cup of hot tea and have like 1 or 2 minis.
Okay.
If you're going to watch something on Netflix or what have you, you could, make yourself a small little snack tray with a couple of minis and maybe a bowl of popcorn and stuff in the tray.
I think once you open a bar at home, you might as well just like have the whole thing. Where here, if you got them, you're like, well, I'm only gonna have 2. That's it.
Yeah.
So you're like, you eating less per day.
Also, I think I would feel violated if someone ate my bar. Like at home, I'd be like, who ate my candy? But that is like for anybody. I wouldn't notice a difference.
Yeah, bars are very personal.
Bars are very personal. So when do you buy yourself a bar?
When you're in a mood, you see a flavor that strikes your appetite.
Yeah, my house is completely different. We have these things in bowls, like a couple of bowls in the house. Bars, we eat a few pieces, we put it in. My daughter's gonna eat a few pieces, take it out.
Okay.
So,
I buy bars when I have a craving. Like when you have like serious chocolate craving, you just pick up a bar and eat the whole thing. There's
Okay.
minis or Linder. Those are more kind of like you have to get them as a social thing or for office or to have around.
Okay. So bars are like, I have a serious chocolate Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then these more bites or pieces are kind of more just like for kind of everyday snacking needs or for sharing with other people.
Only wrapped ones though.
Only wrapped ones are for
Because those
sharing.
unwrapped ones I'll still buy as a craving.
Yeah.
Like the bark and the toffees.
Okay. This can also be
Craving.
craving.
Yeah.
The good thing about the wrapped ones
Mhm.
is that you can throw them in your bag.
Okay.
And if you forget that you have them in your bag, or you're feeling peckish and you open your bag, there they are waiting.
These are perfect for, you could put on toppings of yogurt or something like that.
Do people do that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ice
it's a good
cream.
excuse to eat something healthy with your chocolate.
Okay.
Wait, ice cream is healthy?
No, ice cream,
Yogurt.
actually think about it, yeah, because ice cream contains milk and it's got eggs and it's got all that other stuff. Yeah, it's very healthy.
Chocolate has milk.
I know, that's why chocolate's healthy. Chocolate is actually a
Serotonin.
dressed up vitamin because it's got minerals in it and vitamins. It's good for your heart.
It's good emotionally, gives you that emotional love.
Yeah, very good. And it's good for your cardio system. We can rationalize anything here.
See that?
I want you to look at a new kind of juggle. Well, maybe it's not new to you. One pass it down. Thank you.
You're welcome. What a strange name. I don't know why, but I immediately thought of pirates when I saw the packaging.
Semoy. I guess it's semois, but
Samoa?
it totally reads like semoy, which
It does,
feels
but I
Chinese
look
or
at this and I just think
Korean.
of pirates.
It depends. It says it's a product of France, so it would be pronounced differently than, let's say, if it was a product from South America. Same spelling.
Coco.
Why does it make you think of pirates?
I have no idea. I guess for
The-
some reason
the
it looks
cover
sort of
has
like
a- canvas.
vaguely like a
The-
burlap bag
That's
or
exactly
something.
the burlap, yeah.
Yeah, burlap bags, and I immediately thought of pirate booty. I have my mind does its own thing, and sometimes I follow it.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I would try one.
You
I
would
would
try one?
not.
I would try the one, the dark with the orange.
Orange essential oil?
Yeah.
I think the packaging overall is good, but that top is strange. Like that semois, the
Semois?
whole logo like looks old, and then the packaging like looks more
It's
modern.
very unattractive to me. Why do we have two of these?
But
Did you
dark
get two?
chocolate with quinoa, which is yummy,
Gross.
so might still try it.
I like how it says dessert,
Yeah,
and then a
it's
colon,
sour
it says sad tome. I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat chocolate that makes me feel sad. And then
Is that
sing.
sour?
I don't know if it looks like it says sad tome, like, you know, there's a jazz singer whose last name is Torme, so now it's making me think I'm going to sing sad songs if I eat the dark desert chocolate.
All right, what do other people think about the, you know, what these chocolates might be like?
I think it's going to be like a very dry, dark chocolate. Like if you look at the packaging on the dark, the 64, the desert, or dessert, and then you look at like a Godiva, for instance. It's just very milky and flowing, and this one's just kind of like crumbling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That threw me off.
It doesn't kind of look as appealing as something that's just kind of like flowing down and like, you know, hitting every taste bud to quench your craving.
Yeah.
Well, how much cocoa Godiva has and how much this has?
Exactly. I mean, that's so if you're in for a very, very dark, if that's what you want, then I think it's very, I personally don't go down the dark chocolate all that often.
I think you hit it on the head when you said dry, and because it just seems like it's going to be really dense and sort of
Solid.
unflavorful.
I wouldn't necessarily buy this, but if the vendor had, let's say, a booth in a Whole Foods and they were offering free samples,
Okay.
my curiosity would draw me to it and I would try it. And if it appealed to my palate, I might consider buying it. But other than that, I would let somebody else tell me what they thought.
I agree. The packaging isn't appealing to me at all.
Tell me why the packaging is not appealing to you.
Something about it is very bland. The chocolate looks boring. It looks like I'm gonna bite into it and not like it. So I agree with, I'm sorry, Bill, that I would rather sample it or hear by word of mouth that this is something I should buy.
I think this would look more exotic and it would make me more curious if it was actually packed in burlap. To me, it's too generic. It's too, the shape of it, the packaging of it, it's too generic.
Okay.
There's nothing that sets it apart.
You know, I think with all the fancy schmancy language on the label, it looks like it's an inexpensive brand trying to shove itself off in a premium brand. It just, there's something rather artificial about it.
I only just noticed that it says selected plans, where I was staring at it for like a good 10 minutes, and I haven't seen it, which is kind of surprising. Which I'm sure they put a lot of thought into messaging that, hey, this is from like a specific batch of cocoa trees that we're working with. Also, I did notice transparency right away, which is, I guess, a good thing because they're trying to be also fair trade. But yeah, the design of the bar itself, like just those lines, look very kind of old school.
Yeah.
The only thing that would draw me is just specific flavor that would hit my specific interests. Like some people are crazy about orange, so they might try those orange essential oil.
Okay.
I'm interested in quinoa because it adds like an interesting crunch. So out of those three, I would try this just for that. But yeah, the packaging, there's some, in the design, there's clashing elements. Like I said, modern and old and new and tasteful and not tasteful. This cocoa bean looks like, I don't know, like some kind of strange thing, almost like, I don't know, an insect.
Did anybody feel like that when they first looked at this looked premium to them?
No.
No. I
Yeah.
would purchase it, but I would just up the ingredients to 90% cocoa. There's a huge segment of the population looking for healthier chocolate.
Okay.
And plus, as Julia was saying, I would reduce the size of the cocoa beans smaller.
Okay.
And I would go with the middle one because this one looks kind of, looks like it's rising up from the dirt. The one on the left. But the center is very clean, just reduce the...
Okay. What about this was appealing to you, that you said you might buy it?
Yeah, it's a dark chocolate, 64% cocoa.
Okay.
I like that it comes from France. I would highlight that a little larger.
What do other people feel about that? Does it matter that it comes from France?
No.
No.
unless it starts talking.
The packaging kind of sets my taste buds. Like if I was looking at it real quick without paying attention to the wording, I would think I'm buying a coffee product almost. So,
That's kind of funny, yeah.
you know, it's something
Yeah.
about this that's not saying that this is sweet and this is gonna crave my chocolate craving.
Because of that background.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like a coffee bag.
It's just visually unappealing. It's like, have you ever gone to like Lotless or an off-brand discount store and you're walking through and you see like these knockoff type of candies or chocolates instead of being